Hey guys, it's Annie, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is my January 2022 Plan With Me video. There isn't really too much to talk about in these intros, but without further ado, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more bullet journaling content from me, and let's get right to the video. So first off, of course, we're going to start with my cover page, and this month's theme is kind of these like birch trees, like a wintry kind of like forest vibe. I don't really know how to explain it, but you guys will see what I'm doing as I set up this month's bullet journal theme, obviously. And I will link some of my illustrations I used for inspiration and different stuff I looked at as kind of like a reference to see what I wanted the illustrations to look like, pretty much. But yeah, I started off by kind of like drawing out this circle in pencil using like a compass, or you can just trace around something that's circular, just to kind of get the idea to kind of capture like the forest in a circle. Does that make sense? I saw some really cool pictures on Pinterest where people did that, so I will have those linked down below once again. And then I did some really simple lettering underneath. I just went for a really simple cursive font for this month's theme, just because it goes well with the theme. I don't know, I usually just pick out a theme, pick out the colours, and then pick out whatever font will go best. If it's a really simple doodles, then I'll go for a more like extravagant calligraphic font. But then for this one, I thought the illustrations are quite detailed, I guess, even though they are really easy to draw, so I went with a super simple cursive. And then I just coloured in all of the different tree shapes in different shades of grey. You can do them in just one shade of light grey if you all want them to be kind of like the same tree, but I went for different shades because I thought it would look really cool. And then I added these, I think the colour is called like yellow ochre kind of colour, but added these small like little sprouts or leaves. And then I added the kind of bark texture by just adding some horizontal lines in the tree, if that makes sense, and then kind of just did it really rough drawing, but it does give that really realistic effect. I don't really know what I'm talking about, to be honest, but you guys can kind of see what I'm drawing and how I managed to do it, but it was pretty simple, to be honest, but it does look more artistic, I guess, than some of the other easy and like whimsical doodles I would usually do, I guess. So anyways, for my quote page, I went for a super simple quote, which just said a lot can happen in a year, just because obviously January is the first month of the year. So I thought I'd kind of do like a New Year's-ish quote, if that makes sense. And then I just did 3 trees just next to it. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. So now moving on to my January calendar. I know I say this every single month, but I went for the usual calendar layout. It was super rare that I will do anything different to this for my monthly calendar, just because this one works so well. So basically I just did kind of like the calendar grid over a double spread, and then I left space on the left hand side for my growth trackers for YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, pretty simple to be honest. I wrote January at the top, and then when I finished doing all of the numbering and writing the days of the week, added some more of those tree doodles at the bottom and along the top as well. So now, of course, moving on to my habit and mood trackers. For my habit tracker, I did my usual mini calendars for each habit I'm tracking. So this month I decided to track 8 habits. So I did them kind of towards the right hand side of that page so I could leave space on the left for some doodles, as you will see in a bit. But the habits I decided to track this month are workout, yoga, walk, read, water, skincare, no spend, and screen. I usually find when I track less habits that I will focus on them more, and therefore I will become more consistent, just because, I don't know, I feel like it works better for me. Sometimes I will track more habits, and sometimes I will just stick to the basic ones that I feel like I need the most. So this month I kind of just kept it quite minimal with those habits. And then, as I said, on the left hand side I added some more of those tree doodles. I did 4 trees. Pretty simple. I don't really know what else there is to say. But yeah. So now for my mood tracker. So for this, I originally planned to draw, similar to how I did on my cover page, I planned to draw 31 trees in a circle and then colour each tree each day. But then I started drawing, did 5 and had almost filled half of the circle. So I thought, well, these aren't going to fit. So instead of doing that, I just got a piece of cartridge paper. and cut it into the same like circle shape, and then divided that circle. I ended up only doing 30 by accident instead of doing 31, but I divided it into 30, but obviously you guys can do 31 or 32 because then it makes it, you have enough days, but I just divided it using a protractor and then cut it out and stuck it on top, and then like the space for each day. I've done similar like circular mood trackers before and I did really like them, so I just kind of went for this safer option as the other one didn't end up working out, which is always fine because we all make mistakes, and I feel like this did turn out really nice at the end, and I'm really glad with how it turned out, and I feel like it's going to be really easy to use as well when it comes to filling it in each day. And then in the center of the circle I did draw some tree doodles just to fill that empty space. Moving on to my usual kind of tracker spread, basically all of the habits and things that I do that I didn't want to include in my habit tracker is on this spread. I've got a section for sleep. I track my steps, productivity, screen time, all on the left page. As you can see, I did kind of two kind of graph layouts. The first one on the top or on the like far left hand side is for sleep, so I did the hours ranging from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and I can draw a line for how many hours of that night I slept pretty much. And then below that I have the graph layout, which is just, I did a scale from 10 to 1, so for steps that would be like 10,000 or 1 to 1,000, and then for productivity that can just be like my own view of how productive I was on that day, and screen time that would be in hours. So I can fill that in, and all of these spreads do look really, really nice when they are filled in. If you've watched my flip through videos, you know that, because I do these pretty much every single month just because they work so well for me. And then on the page on the right, I did an exercise tracker, which is pretty straightforward and self-explanatory actually, but I just did the minutes along the top ranging from 5 to 90 minutes, and then going vertically downways obviously. I did the days of the month going from 1 to 31, and then I can draw like how many of those minutes I did exercise, went for a walk. I have a key down the side. Usually I would use colours for this key, but just because this theme was kind of more like black and white and grayscale, I guess, I just did symbols, not symbols, but kind of like patterns. As you can see, I did like squiggly lines, wavy lines, horizontal, diagonal lines, just so I can see like whether it's a different muscle I worked out on, like upper body, lower body, or I have yoga, walk, and then other as well, just because you never know. And then below that I just added some doodles. So yeah. So now for the final spread I will be showing you for this video, which is my January playlist and my books read in January. So for my playlist, I just did 3 songs this month just because I've pretty much just been listening to Red Taylor's version on repeat for like the whole of the last 2 months. So there isn't really much new music other than that. So I included that, Red Taylor's version by Taylor Swift, the album, and then below that I got another song by Taylor Cray, and then I've got Shawn Mendes' new song as well. Just pretty simple. I didn't really listen to much other than Taylor Swift this month, but I thought I'd just include those other 2 songs as well, because why not? If you didn't know, I obviously have my Spotify playlist linked down below, along with my Spotify, which has all of my monthly playlists and my playlist for the entire year. So you can, the link is down below, so you can listen to those playlists. And then I did some doodles underneath that, as I did have quite a lot of space. And then on the page next to that, I just did a title where I will put my books read in January, but I won't fill anything in just because obviously I haven't read any books yet because it's not January. Well, so I will fill that in when it's, at the end of the month basically. I don't know why it's so hard for me to explain. At the end of January, I'll go back and fill the spread in. That's what they had to say. Yeah. So yeah, that ends today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more bullet journaling content from me. And let's get right to the final flip through of all of these spreads, and as usual, photos of all of these spreads and more, including all my weekly spreads for January, will be going up on my Instagram as usual, which is all linked down below. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye guys!